now we've done our starter, we can go on to interpreting line graphs. Now, has anyone ever seen one of these before, a line graph? Different sort of graph that we've never seen before. Now, when I've taught this before, we may have seen a line graph when you have been on TT Rockstars. And when you do a sound check, it will tell you whether you're going up or whether you're going down. So a line graph always has the time at the bottom. So it might be weeks, it might be months. At the moment, you might be seeing in the news coronavirus cases. They go up and down, and they'll have the date on here, and they'll say, at the moment, cases are up here, and now cases are down here, and now cases are here, and now cases are here. And people might use it to monitor when it's safe to come back to school. So when it's down here, the line graph, means there's not very many cases and we can come back to school. But at the moment, it's a bit unsafe. So the line graph is way up here with how many cases. So down on this axis, remember, what's this axis called? This is the what axis. It might be easier to start with this one. This one is the nice big y axis, like we learnt yesterday. Whee! That's our y axis. And then this one is another letter. This is our x axis. They're exactly the same on a bar chart. You've still got x-axis and y-axes. Okay, so when you plot a line graph, you go along to the time and then it goes up as to what number it is. Now, what can you spot our scale is going up in? Our scale for this one is going up in twos. So if I was to ask you, how tall was my sunflower on Thursday the 25th? You'd look at Thursday the 25th and you'd go all the way up to tell me how long it is. Now, I've started on a really hard one because the cross is in the middle of 16 and 18. There's no number. Oh, wait, hold on. What's in the middle of 16 and 18? What number is in the middle of those two numbers? Oh, yeah, 17. 17 is in the middle of 16 and 18, so that's how tall it was. Okay, let's try another one. You can't see some of this, so I'm really sorry. I click hide. I can click hide. What height was my sunflower on Monday the 15th? Yeah, you're right. It was 8 centimeters. So I'll go along to Monday the 15th. I go up, and it's 8 centimeters tall. Okay, so this is what our line chart's going to look like today. Now, line graphs can only be used for certain things. They can't be used for everything. So imagine your classmates' birthdays. They say, right, 6 people had their birthday in June. 2 people have their birthday in December. And 10 people have their birthday. So you can't use it for something like your birthdays. And the same with your books. You might have 2 people like David Walliams, 10 people like Roald Dahl. You can't use it for your favourite books. It has to be something that has time on the x-axis, the temperature throughout the day. Well, at this time, it was that. At this time, it was that one. And at this time, it was that one. So it has to be something that you can measure throughout the day, okay, or throughout the month, or through its time on the bottom. The height of a plane throughout a flight. Would that one work? At the first hour, it was here, and then the second hour it was here, and then the third hour was here, and then it declined a little bit, and then it went down. This is when we were high up in the air, so that could be on that one as well. How much money an ice cream store makes in a week? Oh, well, on the first week, the ice cream store made this much money, but on the second week, it only made this much money. But then on the third week, when it was really hot, it made this much money. So again, I've got the time on the bottom. So you can measure it throughout. So those 3, as long as time is at the bottom, you can use a line graph. So that's important to remember, that you can't use a line graph if it's got, what's that C word? If it's got categories at the bottom. All right. So just like any other, some of your questions today, it's going to ask you, I'm just going to double check I'm still recording. Yes. It's going to ask you what it's missing. Now, these are the things that your line graph needs. Now, we've already learnt about this word axis. So it needs axis labels. Now, this one doesn't have any axis labels. So it says use the checklist to make sure the line graph has all these items. So this one is missing axis labels. So you'd need something like time on the bottom there. And then you'd also need another axis label going down here. And you might have traffic survey, and you might have amounts of cars. It doesn't, or it didn't, have any axis labels. I have just added them on, but it didn't have any axis labels. Now, does it have a title? Yeah, this one does have a title. This title is traffic survey, so it does have a title. Now, does it have scales? Now, this is the scales that you weigh yourself on. This is the things that goes up the, what axis does it go up? The X one or the Y one? Oh yeah, they go up the Y one. This is the one that goes up here. Does it have scales? No, it's missing them. 0, 2, what do you think this one could be? 4, 6, 8. Okay, it didn't have scales. It only had a title. Okay, it might ask you to look at the data and to tell me how many it was. But you just have to read it really carefully. At 10 years, this is 10 years, oak tree measured how many meters? So you go along to 10 and you see how many meters did it measure? How many meters was the oak tree? It's at the number what? It's at the number 1. The quickest growth was between age and Now, between 0 and 10, it only grew 1. Between 10 and 20, it only grew, it's in the middle of 1 and 2. It only grew 1.5. Not even that, 0.5. And then look at this growth here. It climbs, doesn't it? It climbs really steeply. And then up here, it only moves one line. So that one only moves one line. That one moves half a line. That one moves a line and a half. And then that one moves one line as well. So in which ages did it grow the most? It grew from the ages of 20 to 30. That's when it grew the most, the quickest. From here to here, because there's a great big line. Use the data to complete the line graph. I'm going to skip these ones because we're going to plot a line graph tomorrow, so I am going to skip that one. Now, at the bottom of your page, you're going to have some reasoning that says, I'm going to skip that one actually. Yeah. Okay. So on your sways today, you're going to have some questions, and you just have to do the multiple choice. So you have to look at the line graph and answer the question. And then you'll also have some reasoning questions too. Okay. Well done on your line graph learning today.